Welcome to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano, and this is your one-stop shop for sports picks, politics and government chatter, and even some neighborhood restaurant reviews. Instead of going to 3 different channels, you can come here every week for the Pulse on everything you need to know. And as mentioned on our social media platforms, we have a special election night show for you this week. And we are here in Hoboken, New Jersey for their council races. And of course, the polls have just closed. And joining us in his glory with his fedora is Josh Sotomayor Einstein, our political analyst every week here on the Pulse. Josh, what's going on, my man?
It's actually a pork pie.
A pork pie, it's called.
Common mistake.
Common mistake. My apologies for that. So, Josh, we previewed the races last weekend on the show, and have there been any type of changes or what have you in the last few days now that the polls have actually closed?
So, junkies of the political nature like ourselves are very excited, but seeing how the day went and people out and about, it would seem Hoboken basically snoozed through the day.
Right.
It seems like there's been a very low voter turnout, which isn't crazy for an election that doesn't have a Senate, gubernatorial, or presidential candidate at the top. But even that said, it seems like there was a lower number of people than usual that voted, which traditionally is a favor to the incumbents because they have the most organized and the most wide-ranging and deep army of people that are committed to them, that have voted for them before. So I would be surprised if the incumbents didn't win. And then over in the 5th ward, where there's no incumbent, I think it looks like, if the person closest to an incumbent is Phil Cohen.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. So you made predictions on the last show. I'm going to give you a chance to redeem yourself right now. Do you want to change any of your predictions you've made?
No.
Okay, you're sticking with them. I like that. Well, we're going to go to the candidate headquarters. We're on our way there right now. We're going to talk to some winners. We're going to talk to some losers. We might even talk to some people who might be in a runoff from a month from now. You're not going to want to miss it. Here with Second Ward Councilwoman Tiffany Fisher. Tiffany, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Happy to have this over, or almost over, I guess.
Almost over.
Over.
Exactly. The hard part is over, and you know for a fact that you won't have a runoff tonight, correct?
I know for a fact that I won't have a runoff, which is good.
Exactly. That's probably the only thing we know for a fact right now, but there are some early results in. I was wondering if you can tell our viewers what those results are right now.
As of right now, with all of the machine numbers in, it looks like, first of all, it looks like it was really heavy turnout. We had 1,632 people vote, I think the number is, and I'm currently leading by 112 votes. So we're still awaiting the vote by mail results, and we had an excessive number of provisionals this year that may complicate things, so we'll see.
Exactly, and we were speaking about this off camera, but I think it's important for the audience to know why there were so many provisionals with the law change from a few years ago, so I was wondering if you could explain that.
Yeah, so just before the ballots were sent out, the state legislature and Governor Murphy approved a new law that basically said every person who voted by mail at any time in 2016, 17, or 18 was automatically put into perpetual vote by mails. And so it was very little notice. The ballots went out very early, and a lot of people that maybe hadn't voted by mail since 2016 found themselves getting a ballot early on and either didn't know what to do with it, they threw it out, they literally had no idea. So it created a lot of confusion. We had a number of people show up thinking that they were going to vote in the machine, and when they got there, they were told they had to vote by mail, or they had to vote provisionally, and it was just a lot of confusion. It was really unfortunately, for our local elections.
It really was. So obviously, it is looking favorable to you. We don't like to speak too soon, especially here on the Pulse, and I'm sure you don't as well. But I'm sure there are many things you want to say to your supporters out there, because it was a grind. You did have the administration against you, and many, many other factors against you that wasn't against you 4 years ago. I know personally, but we won't get to that right now. Anything you want to say to supporters?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm here. Having the conversation, 112 points up because of all of my supporters, and I couldn't have gotten here without all of their support. It's been a huge team effort, not only the people that were close to me with the campaign, but just all the people cheering me on along the way, and just being supportive of the efforts that I've made as a council person, and people wanting me to continue. So that's the best part of this, is just a lot of kind of cheering on and celebration. I'm hoping that it's going to be enough. It was closer than I would have hoped. Clearly, I would have loved a bigger landslide, but like you said, I feel like it was a full court press against me. I had the current mayor, the former mayor, and an entire huge budget, all specifically earmarked for me and against me. So I feel like no matter what, we've done really good, and it was a big effort, and I don't think I could have done any more.
But really, would you say that really grassroots, and again, I don't want to congratulate you because it's a little premature, but would you say that grassroots was the cause of you being up this late in the game, I guess I should say?
Well, I don't think it's late in the game, but I do think my entire campaign is grassroots. It's literally just, all the money that I raised, all the people that came out and supported me are really just Hoboken residents. I have some really good friends and family that don't live in Hoboken that also provided support, but, I've capped my contributions at $500, even to individuals. I just really felt like I wanted to have as much support as possible from a broadest base, and to me that felt really grassroots. And for a local, ward election, I just feel like that's what it should be, right? It shouldn't be all these special interest monies that came in and supported my opponent and all other large institutions that supported them. I feel like this is a neighborhood election, and I feel really good about my neighborhood support.
Well, Tiffany, I can congratulate you on a job well done. I saw you out there. I live in the second ward. It is the best ward in the city.
Ward in the city.
See, she knows, absolutely. And congratulations on a hard-fought almost victory, we'll just say.
Keep our fingers crossed, and we still have more information to go. So thanks, Peter.
Absolutely. And folks,
can I add one thing? I do just want to say the emotion that I feel is very reflective, not only of this campaign, but also a lot about when we ran against each other, because it was a civil campaign. There was no negative. It was a race to the door, lots of smiles. We'd see each other often, and I love that aspect of the campaign, and I wish there was more of that in this one. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely, and it was almost like a 180 from when we ran. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, folks, we are going to give you the results right here on the bottom, but Tiffany is cautiously optimistic, and cautiously, exactly. Stay tuned for more interviews. Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, don't forget to go on our Facebook page by typing in the Pulse with Peter B in your search bar and like and follow us there. We're constantly updating that page, and you're not going to want to miss any new information, especially when we're not filming. And also, for all you grammars out there, follow us at our Instagram page at the Pulse with Peter B. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back. I'm your host with the most, Joshua Sotomayor Einstein, usually the political correspondent filling in for Peter Biancamano on the Pulse with Peter B. Right now we have 6th Ward incumbent Jennifer Giacchino. Tell us, how do you feel about the election tonight?
Actually, I want to know who you voted for.
As somebody doing a local show, I've maintained a relatively neutral position. That's my BS story, and I'm sticking to it.
It's okay to have a neutral position, but who'd you vote for?
Well, I like the traditional positions mostly. I'm not going to go into them because there might be children watching. So how do you feel about tonight?
To be honest with you, I'm completely exhausted.
Well, listen, everyone in our ward, and I do live in the 6th Ward as well, has seen you out knocking on doors, late morning, afternoon, and evening. So you've definitely put the foot to the pavement, so to speak.
Yes,
and do you feel happy about your performance?
I do. Actually, tonight it was about 5:30, and I was knocking on doors of people that were supporters and hadn't gone out, and I knocked on this one man's door who's in his 80s, and he's like, oh, I went to the doctor today, I don't feel well. And I looked at him and I wanted to be like, it's okay, I'll take you to vote, but I didn't really have the heart to do that.
So did you carry him on your front or your back?
I didn't carry him at all, and then at 7:30 tonight, I saw him leaving the poll, and it literally brought tears to my eyes that this man would go out and vote for me.
Now, you've had definitely a heartwarming story. You've had a lot of volunteers. Is there any message you want to send them?
They're all freaking awesome. They really are. You know what? I love the 6th Ward. best place to live. Sorry to everyone else in Hoboken, but it really is the best place to live. We have the greatest community. I just feel so fortunate that I live here.
Terrific. Well, thank you so much for
and
joining
have
us.
all of those people as my friends and supporters.
Terrific. Thank you so much for joining us. Next time you see us, we'll be checking out a different ward.
Ciao.
So we're here with Kristin Kreuk Powell. Kristin, how are you today?
I'm fine. I remember when you were shorter than I am.
And trust me, if I had a nickel every time I heard that, I would probably have $1. But anyway, so Kristin is still in a tough race in the 6th Ward against incumbent councilwoman Jen Giacchino. Obviously, the numbers are way too early to call. Would you say so?
I would, and I'm feeling very proud. Jen is an 8-year incumbent, and the fact that we still don't know who won, I'm feeling very proud of myself and the race that I won.
That's absolutely excellent. Yeah, so the provisionals and the vote by mails have not been counted yet. We probably won't know that till the end of the week on Friday. And unfortunately, now you have to wait 3 more days. I've asked more sleepless nights. What do you think?
No sleepless nights.
Now, obviously, you couldn't have gotten this far without your supporters. Is there anything you want to say to the 6th Ward supporters who have been with you since day one and who have joined you later on?
Yeah, thank you so much for your confidence in me, and regardless of what the outcome is, I'm proud of the race that I won, and I'm especially proud that I showed my 9-year-old daughter that civic engagement is extremely important, because there are a lot of people in Hoboken who choose not to vote, and I don't think that's okay. I think that you need to vote where you are, because voting local affects you more than even voting national.
And best of luck going forward. It's great to see you. Old Hoboken family. I have to just give her a quick hug. Folks, we will be right back. Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, get on our YouTube page and binge watch all of our past episodes by typing in your search bar, The Pulse with Peter B. And make sure you subscribe to that channel as well. And also, if you have any questions for me, for Josh, for our food insiders, Daria, Krista, or even for our sports insiders, Jay or Matt, you might want to email us at thepulsewithpeterb@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you. Here with Councilman Michael DeFusco of the 1st Ward, and he certainly had the biggest victory of the night. Councilman, congratulations.
Thank you so much, Petey.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Councilman, this was really a nasty race. Would you say so? One of the more nastier ones that you have run in, and you have run for plenty in the past few years.
Well, listen, this race to me was about our accomplishments in the 1st Ward, the new energy, new ideas that we brought to the political discourse, and the vision for Hoboken's future that we have. With the outside interference of a pro-development super PAC that came out to support my opponent, we saw a lengthy series of paid-for advertising in everybody's mailboxes. That was unfortunate, but luckily the voters in the 1st Ward were not distracted, and we had a great victory tonight, 2-1.
Unbelievable, absolutely, and congratulations again. And we're here at the Pig and Parrot, and we have plenty of your supporters here. And I walked home from the path tonight from my day job, which I shouldn't quit, they say. And I just noticed that there was a lot of hearts involved in the 1st Ward when it came to people holding up your signs. Would you agree with that statement?
Pete, what I've always believed in is one Hoboken. And I know that sounds like a political talking point, but it's true, right? This is not a city that's about old Hoboken or new Hoboken. It's not about whether you're a renter or an owner. It's about one Hoboken because we believe in this city. So my supporters came from across the gamut of voters. And it's about bringing this city together for the future. Not about where we were, not about where we are today, but where we want to take it. And so the excitement behind this campaign, much like behind the mayoral 2 years ago, was about the vision for the future. And my supporters are amazing people, and even the people that didn't support me are great. So the next step in this conversation is bringing everyone together to build a better Hoboken as one.
Unbelievable. Now, you spoke about many different ideas on the campaign trail. What are you going to tackle first? What can you tell the residents of the 1st Ward that, you know, hey guys, I'm doing this first, and this is how I'm laying it out?
Well, a passion project for me and something that resonates with members of the First Ward, but also across the city, is a European-style market at Hoboken Terminal. Something similar to Chelsea Market in the city or Reading Terminal in Philadelphia, a place where mom-and-pop shops, makers, creators, tech innovators can succeed in Hoboken, a destination not only for our residents, but regionally as well. It's going to be a concept that really redefines the future of Hoboken. So that's going to be something I'm looking forward to working with the administration and the city council on. But two, talking about the administration, tonight's overwhelming victory for our incumbents, our council majority, is a true check on mayoral authority. Tonight, the First Ward showed, as well as the entire city, that we want independence on the city council, a group of people that are willing to work with the mayor productively to make his agenda better, but a group of people that aren't willing to be rubber stamps. And I think our victories across the city proved the point that we've been trying to make 2 years ago, that we want to work with the mayor, but we're not willing to let the mayor have the final say in determining every single piece of policy. So my message to the administration tonight is tomorrow morning we're looking forward to working with you 100%, but we're going to be a conscious, deliberative legislative body that moves Hoboken forward for residents, making it better and making sure that government works better for all residents.
Unbelievable. And now, speaking of messages, because obviously your message overwhelmingly was delivered here in the First Ward by a 2-1 majority, what would you say was the single aspect of your message that the voters resonated with over your opponents?
I think they just said, stop knocking on my door. You know, please, Mike, stop knocking on my door. No, honestly. I think that what the First Ward may see in me is a son of Italian immigrants, a man that has built a professional background based on hard work and a belief in collaboration and communication. But I can't tell you for sure. I really can't. But one thing I can promise my neighbors that I'll deliver on is somebody that will work tirelessly for the next 4 years to ensure that we have a better government, a more efficient government, and a creative government, right? We need a government that's thinking outside the box, a government that's not afraid to take chances. If we're always sitting on the fence, not willing to go one way or the other, how are we ever going to decide what's best for Hoboken? And if we don't have politicians that are willing to say I'm wrong, then we're never going to get anywhere. And that's, I think, what people see in me.
Well, he's a son of Italian immigrants like I am, and he's moving further and further away from the camera, so we got to keep up.
My family can't make mutts like you can.
Oh, look at that. Another plug. Shameless plug there. Well, Michael, congratulations. I mean, the First Word spoke in volumes for you tonight, and it was because of your hard work. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Folks, we will be right back. Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, don't forget to go on our Facebook page by typing in the Pulse with Peter B in your search bar and like and follow us there. We're constantly updating that page, and you're not going to want to miss any new information, especially when we're not filming. And also, for all you grammars out there, follow us at our Instagram page at the Pulse with Peter B. We'll see you soon. Here with Councilman-elect Phil Cohen. Let the Pulse be the first to actually say that. Phil, congratulations. Hard fought.
Thank you, Peter.
Yes, I mean, absolutely excellent. Now, Phil, earlier today, we walked in. We were here a little earlier. You didn't want to come on camera, which we respect because the numbers didn't come in. When you came back, you threw your arms up in jubilation that you won. First of all, what do you need to say to your supporters out there who have been with you since May when you started knocking on doors?
Well, it's been a long campaign, Peter. I mean, we started this announcement in May, and we had a great turnout over at 10th and Willow, and it seems like it's been a long time to November 5th. A lot of people have been helpful. A lot of people put window signs up for me. A lot of people agreed to walk and knock doors for me, and I couldn't have done it without their support. So thank you to all of my supporters, to the people who gave generously, my friends, my family, people who believed in me and thought that I would be a good change for new leadership for the 5th Ward. And I'm looking forward to serving my neighbors. I've knocked on over 2,500 doors, and I've made some real relationships, and I think that's reflected in the vote totals today.
It certainly is. It certainly is, and it's certainly very, very impressive. Phil, did you actually believe, and certainly you worked hard enough for it, that this, because most insiders and analysts and people who follow the Hoboken government scene did believe that the Fifth Ward was going to go to a runoff. Did you actually believe in your heart of hearts that it was, or did you know that you were going to do it on the first ballot like you did tonight?
No, I did not believe that I was going to do it on the first ballot tonight. I was knocking on doors tonight until 7:40, okay? There's a woman who was a tenant in a building that I knocked at 7:30 who was going through chemotherapy, who wasn't feeling well. I got my car, I drove her to Wallace School at 7:35 so she could vote this evening. I never took for granted that I was going to have enough votes to avoid a runoff. I worked right to the last minute to see if I could get enough votes to get over the 50% threshold. I felt good that I was likely to be the leader in the race, but the thought of having to go another 4 weeks was something that I was really hoping to avoid. I was prepared to do it, and I had prepared my family for it and my supporters for it, and I never really believed until I heard from Michael Harper just a few minutes ago that I wasn't going to have to do it. And that's what you saw me so excited about, because that was the moment that I realized that I really don't have to work another 4 weeks until December 3rd runoff. It was a great relief.
I mean, as you know, I've participated in elections as a candidate, as a campaign manager, as many. It is not easy campaigning, and doing it for 6 months, trust me, you don't want to do it for an extra day. But now that you're the councilman-elect, the real work starts. You're going to, of course, take over January 1st. What can you just let the residents of the Fifth Ward, those who voted for you and those who didn't vote for you, know what they can expect from you as their new councilman?
Sure. Well, first, I'm planning on taking the weekend off.
As well you should.
I promised my wife that we were going to take a weekend off even if there was a runoff, so I owe it to Rebecca to do that. As far as the residents of the Fifth Ward, I've made some real connections with them. I really care about them. Whether you're living in a row house, whether you're living in Fox Hill, whether you're living in affordable housing, you are the people who I'm going to represent. You are the people I'm going to work for. You're the people I'm going to care about every day. I've given out my email address to them all. It's hobokenphil@gmail.com. I pride myself on responding to their messages. I'm looking forward to being a responsive council person who is interested in the day-to-day issues that they're dealing with and do what I can, if not to solve their problems, at least be able to put them in touch with people who can help them and be caring about them and facilitate their ability to get their issues addressed.
Phenomenal. And Phil, we were able to come in, as I said, when you announced to the capacity crowd here at City Bistro in Hoboken, and you embraced the mayor. Is there anything you want to say? I know the mayor, of course, supported you. It's obviously the numbers are not official tonight, but it looks like a pretty tough night for many of his candidates that ran. Is there anything you want to say to the Mayor Bala specifically throughout this journey to your victory?
Well, let me just say, I think the dynamic of the city council is going to be different with a Fifth Ward councilman represented by myself. I think that, I'm someone who's going to be active, I'm going to be engaged, I'm going to be an independent voice on the city council, and I think the whole tone of the council is going to be different. I don't think it's going to be the way it was before, and I mean, I don't want to overstate the importance of my victory, but I do think it's a trend. And we're not going to have a 7-2 council anymore. It's going more towards 6-3, and it's going in a direction where Mayor Bala, heading into his re-election year, is going to be in a situation where he's going to have more cooperation, more working with the council in a way that's productive, as opposed to Hoboken games and politics in a way that really doesn't help anyone. And I'd really like to see us take a more constructive path forward, and I want to be a part of that.
Well, Phil, congratulations. Doing it on the first ballot, you should really be proud. Fifth Ward Councilman-elect Phil Cohen. Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, get on our YouTube page and binge watch all of our past episodes by typing in your search bar, The Pulse with Peter B. And make sure you subscribe to that channel as well. And also, if you have any questions for me, for Josh, for our food insiders, Daria, Krista, or even for our sports insiders, Jay or Matt, you might want to email us at thepulsewithpeterb@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you. Back here with Josh. Sotomayor Einstein, who did an absolute phenomenal interview with his 6-word council person, and that's Jen Giacchino. Josh, you're getting up to my standards. We're getting very, very closer to me. How do you feel after your first real interview on the Pulse here?
Standards.
No standards, right? Anyway, folks, we wanted to let you know that, of course, there were other races going on in the city of Hoboken tonight. We want to start out in the 3rd Ward, where Councilman Michael Russo has won pretty easily over his opponent, Independent Ronald Bautista. And in the 4th Ward, Councilman Ruben Ramos also won with pretty ease against Lisa Sprangel, who is being supported by Mayor Bala. So we will have those results for you right at the bottom of your screen, as you know. So, Josh, I have to be honest with you. You have Michael with DeFusco winning in the 1st. Tiffany Fisher looks like she's a winner in the 2nd Ward. And as of this time in our taping, Nora Martinez Di Benedetto has conceded. So Tiffany is the winner, even though she was a little nervous when we were talking to her a little earlier. Michael, of course, and Ruben, as we mentioned, in the 3rd and the 4th Ward, Michael Russo and Ruben Ramos. And in the 5th Ward, it's still a little too close to call, but it looks like Phil Cohen has a little bit of an edge. And in the 6th Ward, of course, Jen Giacchino looks like she's going to victory. So, Josh, as of right now, you're undefeated. How do you feel?
I feel spot on.
You feel spot on. But what do you think? I mean, since you are a political analyst, do you believe that this was a message to Mayor Bala and his administration?
Well, I think it's the proof is in the pudding. And if the only ward that the Bala administration and their back people picked up was the 5th Ward, where there was no incumbent, then this is a big setback for their administration, for their agenda, for the direction that they want to set the city on. I wrote a piece that was published online, talked about, it was very neutral, didn't suggest one side or the other, just explained how if you agree with the mayor, then vote for his candidates. If you disagree with the mayor, then vote for the, either the council majority or some of the other people that are running as independents. That is basically a referendum on the mayor. If that is the case, which it likely is, then the mayor lost this referendum.
Unbelievable. It really, really is. And again, the mayor's race is only 2 years away. I mean, I say only because you know how fast time goes in politics. Although some people say politics usually moves slowly, but who knows? I mean, who would you say, and we all know that Councilman DeFusco is most likely looking at the mayor's seat again, but Ruben Ramos won by a big margin in the 4th Ward as well, and his name has been circulated around.
Ruben Ramos didn't have opposition that was really, I mean, listen, let's be honest. The mayor really went after DeFusco. I think it was a serious tactic, but it was also a tactic to try to dissuade him from investing in Fisher and in Giacchino's survival and in the 5th Ward, backing someone against Phil Cohen with all the effort that he could have brought. But if we look at, I think when we look at the numbers, it'll show that there was definitely more of an investment by Team Bala in DeFusco's ward than in Ramos's ward. So if we're looking about who can go up against the challenges, I think DeFusco proved once again that he can go head-to-head with the mayor.
And absolutely, and it should set up for a pretty good showdown in 2 years, if that's where it's going. We have 2 years to talk about it on the Pulse. Josh will be there, hopefully, if he doesn't take over my interviewing skills. Well, Josh, great job on your predictions tonight. Nothing is official, folks, until this upcoming Friday. That, I believe, is November the 9th. So check the Hudson County Clerk's website, and you will see the official numbers there. Folks, we want to thank you for joining us. For Josh Sotomayor Einstein, our political analyst, I'm your host, Peter Biancamano. We want to thank you for joining us. Join us next week for the Pulse on everything you need to know. Have a great week, everybody.